we are going to talk about elbows and how they affect your seat, your core, and your contact. Um, you've probably seen me write, or if you haven't seen me put this video up, go check out the video I did on hands and taking the connection. But since I'm on a horse, I can demonstrate to you just how important your elbows are in that connection. So elbows are the frame of your core. They help you center your core, and they are the junction point between your upper body and your hand. So when you take the rein, your fingers close on the rein and make that action. So your hand matters a lot, but the elbow is the junction point in how that connects between the horse's mouth and your seat and leg. So it's very important what you do with your elbow. And I could do a whole series on elbows because they do different things depending on our balance. So for a lot of people, when they stiffen their hips, elbows lock. For some people who ride getting jarred about by the motion, their elbows start to flap, right? Their elbow kind of takes that energy in a misdirected way if we aren't actually organized in our core and absorbing the motion of the horse through our seat, right? So we can actually use the elbow to recenter our weight, which is really, really cool. So if you are feeling like you're starting to get up and out of balance, you can actually bend and lower your elbow, and that recalibrates your core. But I want to talk about just how important having bending and soft elbows is for having good contact on the reins. And I don't just mean getting your horse on the bit. I mean making any point of communication with your horse through your hand. And the first thing, you got to fly there, buddy? First thing I want to show you is a simple walk halt. Okay, so let's say I have a stiff elbow. I'm not going to jack with my horse too much just for the sake of this video because I like him a lot. But I do want to demonstrate a couple of things. So let's say I have like a locked Muppet hand and I want to make the horse stop. I have to, I mean, you can see how wiggly he is. I have to really activate my hand a lot. So my fingers have to come into a contact that makes my elbows rise and widen away from each other. And he had to basically run into that rein. Now, it wasn't hard. I didn't pull on him hard, but you saw him get lost, wiggle around, and be like, what does that mean? And he had to run into the rein before he stopped. And he's a good boy, so he did stop. But for a lot of horses, they would require a lot more action on the hand before they understood, and that would make the human's upper body come even more drastically out of position, because we want to be a centered and balanced weight load. That doesn't mean be like all prim and proper, which a lot of people, when they see my videos, are like, oh, it's all prim and proper. That's not like I only ride around the arena in a top hat, right? Which obviously, look at me. So you want to ride so that you're centered and so you're a good weight load for the horse to carry. So I'm going to show you just how much your elbows can make a difference. So I'm going to put myself on one half of me on each side of the horse and try to have my spine in the middle. So I'm trying to ride as if I'm keeping his neck in the center and I'm riding both reins equally. Okay. Then all I have to do to make a halt is bend my elbows. And look at how much more balanced and happy that was. It was just much softer. I didn't have to pull my hand backward. I just had to center my weight load so I'm getting more congruent with his center of balance. And all I did was bend my elbow to connect that junction point between him and me. Now, this is not to be confused with pulling your elbows backward, because that activates a lot more muscles in your back that can create a lot more leverage. And you do see a lot of people do that, where they ride backward on the horse's mouth. That's just ugly. We're not going into that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about activating your center through the elbow as a junction point. So I'll show you a walk halt back up to illustrate that point even more, how all you have to do is ride the energy. So I go walk, bend the elbow. Now I'm just going to ride my seat bones backward. Then I just relax a little bit to open the space forward. And this is, any horse can do this. This is something that any horse can understand, is when you have flexible elbows, the horse can go anywhere you need them to go because they can understand your energy, right? So if I need to pick him up to put him back onto the contact, then I pick up my upper body, pick up my rein. I don't pull the hand backward. I bend the elbow. And then let's say I'm going to have him be a little bit more connected here. And I'm going to go, let's say I'm going to go to trot. So we're going to trot here. And I've got him on a little bit more connected frame. And I wanted to stretch him down. I would stretch the connection down without losing my elbow. And let's say I want to ride into a walk. Then I just slightly bend my elbows and or halts, bend my elbows. So you don't see my hands moving around a ton. You don't see my upper body swinging around a ton. What you see is my seat generates most of the information, and my hands assist in that connecting. So basically where I put my hand and I put that junction point, that is where the horse goes. So if I ride a straight line and move my elbows over, then that is a little lateral moving, right? So I change directions here. I'm going to move my elbows over. And obviously my body is going with that, right? So I bend the elbow. I don't lock and freeze them. I'm going to come straight down here. And I'm going to bend my elbows and move them over. And I'm not riding perfect leg yields or anything. I'm just trying to show you how important your elbow is. And the opposite is what a lot of people do to move the horse over. Like, let's say I want to ride him over. Try to pull the horse over with one hand, and that causes him to fall out that side. Or when they want a downward transition, then they have to pull the hand backward, and that can work, but it makes the body and the hand incongruent. It makes the horse have to study the difference. So what is the center of the aid the horse should always be finding? So when my elbows are soft and supple, I can follow the contact. What a lot of people think that following the contact means is throwing your hand violently, which is actually locking your elbow. It's not at all what we're talking about. So you keep your elbow supple in a soft bend. It doesn't mean you have this hand that doesn't move, but you keep your elbow supple, and you can follow the connection. Follow it. So you can follow the connection down or up or over or stop. And it can be very congruent without being sudden, jarring, or ugly. So that's how important your elbows are. Is if you learn to follow with a soft, elastic elbow, connects all the way into your core, connects all the way into the horse's mouth in a very forgiving and clear guiding balance, then you complete the circuit of energy with the horse without having your elbows lock, stiffen, and interrupt that balance. So next time you're on your horse, just think, what are my elbows doing? Are they flapping? Are they rigid? Are they locked? Are they behind me? Are they in front of me? Or are they doing the Macarena? What your elbows are doing is going to tell you a lot about your body and how you utilize your center to guide the horse. So that's just something for you to think about on your next ride.